Good morning, Pitters. Okay, here's a quick overview of the project that Lori, Laura, Phil, and myself have been working on. So you're all familiar with the secret signal prints that are shared in the room every day, and they're downloadable from the PIT and the shared room drive. And the file is called Secret Signals PIT 2018 and the date, right? So you'll download that, and you can view that file. Also, the project that we're working on, what that does is this is a front end really to that because of all of the block prints that are shared. So when you look at my screen, what we have down here is all of the secret signal prints. So that sheet is actually imported into this as a front end. So really what you can do is when you have this Excel sheet together, you can use the auto update and download the new secret signal print every day by clicking the update from SSP sheet. Okay, and then as you move on, if Vernon or Laura share their prints during the day, you can choose this one here, update block prints shared in PIT. And so the spreadsheet here knows the difference between Vernon and Laura's prints, so you don't have to specify. And what we would do is we would click this and it would ask you for the file location, so you would have had to download it from the Dropbox link that's shared in the room. Now, what I've got here is we've got two tabs that really is the front end here. And we have print pivots and we have print pivots by date here at the bottom. So let's look at the first one, is the print pivots. So this looks a little bit busy, and anyway, quick overview. Up here we have links to common things that are used in the room, like VIX Central, Office Options, Profit Calculator, Equity Clock, Economic Calendar, these sorts of things. It also tells you the date, like if you imported the latest secret signal print, then it would tell you here block prints from May to September 6th. Now, how this really is used is, well, there's a few things. With the Excel 2013 and up, there are these things called slicers. So we can select dates this way from the select date slicer if you like. Now this is set by days. You can switch from days to months, and let's just choose September. Right, so you can see that everything starts updating, and we don't worry about this volume profile this chart too much until you've drilled down to get really what you're looking for, right? Because this doesn't look very helpful at the moment. So also, since I've chosen September, let's switch this to days, and let's see what's going on September 6th, because that was from yesterday. Okay, so we have all of our prints here, and you can actually choose specific stocks if you like. And what I've been doing, not that I'm a most educated trader, but if you're coming into this, you can we have the date from yesterday, which is the 6th, and you can scroll down and see the prints. So for example, EEM had 8.9 million over 20 trades here. So if I expand EEM, it shows you the price points and then all of the shares traded. Now by default, this is set to regular, but so this means this line 11, exclude open market on close. And it says regular because that means regular trading hours. So if we click the down box, there's options for blank, regular, opening prints, or market on close. So you can change this, but by default it's just prints that are throughout the day. And then there's also industry here if you like. Now, if I wind up picking a ticker here, so I know IAU was big, so let's put in IAU. Oh, and a cool thing here too is if I click this filter, instead of using the mouse all the time, I can just hit the letter E for Edward, and it opens this box here for you. So I'm going to put IAU, and I'm going to choose OK. So yesterday there were 5 million prints, 5 million total, 3 total trades. So I'm going to expand this, and here's, so 11, 50, 54, and 55, there's our 5 million individual trades. Now I can expand this further and get the timestamp. So this one was 12/23, something like that. Now with these expanding, there's a couple options here. If you wanted to collapse this because you had several of them open, instead of ticking these little minus things to collapse them, you can just click the minus here, this triangle, and that brings it back. So if you wanted to collapse them all, you could click either here, back on anything in the ticker column, and choose minus, and that does it as well. You can choose plus, which expands them. I'll click on price and plus, and it'll expand all the price points as well. Now you can choose reset. This says reset the date selection to all as well. So if you choose yes, then it's going to be select everything since May, since this sheet started to be tracked. Generally I choose no, or you can cancel out of it and not reset. So I'm just going to choose no. And it resets it back to, see, our date is still the 6th, and then here's all of our things in the list here. Another thing that I wanted to point out here when selecting tickers, so we have, for example, IAU, and then you can also add additional items here. So if I click this filter again, I can put GDX, for example, and then there's this option here, add current selection to filter. Okay, so then anything that has GDX in it is going to be returned, so GDX or GDXJ, so we'll add those. Okay, so now GDXJ didn't show anything here because there's nothing printed for GDXJ on the 6th. Okay, so if I would have slid this, maybe there was something back. I slide my date selector back. No, so there was nothing for that one. Let's see. We'll go back to months. There's got to be something here. Okay, so there. GDXJ actually had some prints back then, but I just selected the date. I switched it to months and picked 3 months. So we have 3 months of prints there, for example. Okay, so I've just hit the reset button, and I chose to reset the dates. So it's everything back from when the sheet was created on May 25th. So one thing that you might have noticed when we were filtering this stuff out is that this sector and industry, these are also slicers, and you can make selections by sector or industry as well. And this also comes from the block prints. So when we look at the block prints, we see the sectors and industries here. So that's where they're coming from. Now let's have a quick look. If we go down, let's pick one. Let's go down and we'll find technology. So I'm going to click technology. So under this technology sector, anything that's highlighted in green here is a subsector or subgroup of this technology. So you see that these are dark green, so that means these are the available options. So you wouldn't have accident and health insurance under technology. This is the complete list of all of the available industry ones, but these ones that are highlighted in green allow you to have additional options. So when we look over at our pivot table here, anything in the technology sector is then returned. So now if you're looking for prints, like for prints in a specific sector, for example, if Facebook had a lot of prints, did somebody else have prints? And this is quite helpful there. Now you can drill down further. So if we want to adjust ETFs, for example, So now we have technology and ETFs. So QQQ is in there as well. Software applications, there's a few there. Now notice this is only picking one group at a time. So you can tick this multi-select here, and you can make multiple selections. So anything here that's dark is remember that this is available. We can't click airlines, for example. That's not going to be helpful. But if we have our software application, let's do infrastructure, internet content. So you see that these within that sector, these sub-industries, these are actually showing up here. Okay, so if you wanted to, you could clear this sector filter for industry. Okay, and that's back. And you can also do the same here, which would return all of the results again. But you can also use the multiple select here. So if you wanted transportation as well, and technology or silver, and you want to untick one, just click on it again. Okay, so we see that USilv is our long. Okay, the other thing briefly on the overview of this page is there are links here for example, the ETF listing. So this says USilv, and it only returns the first item here in the list. So whatever is in this row 15, that's what it's saying. So if I click this ETF listing for USilv, it opens your default browser, whatever that is. And here we have the ETF channel. Okay, I'm just going to open the other ones and show you. There's short squeeze, and then there's FinViz, which is the FinViz lookup for the stock. So now, looking back here, there's all the info for USilv and shortsqueeze.com. Okay, moving on. The new addition that we have here is print pivots by date, and that was added yesterday. And thank you, Andrew TV, for this suggestion. We worked on that, and it's really good. So thank you for calling that out, and I'm glad you're enjoying this. So I'm going to click on Print Pivots by Date. And we see the similar sort of layout. Everything is the same, except you choose a ticker here in line 12. So for IAU, and I shared this out in the room, for IAU then, it's all the prints per date here. So you make the same selections with your date, and notice when you have a selection, I might not have pointed this out on the print pivot side, is we put an IAU here for the ticker, so the sector is gold and the industry is ETF. Okay, so you can add more tickers as well, and these sectors and industries will fill in. Now the downside there though of adding multiple tickers is it's not splitting that out here by the, it's all going to be combined in these dates. So it's better to look at one ticker at a time and see what the price point per date is. So if I go back here, so I've got my date set as months. If we go back, say, June to September, then we can scroll down and see that on the 6th, yesterday there was 10 million prints, but then if we look back on the 4th, June 4th, there were 17 million prints. So I'm going to expand this one, and we've got 13 million at 12:39. So if you expand that, you see the timestamp for that, 11:12. They all came in within a few seconds of each other, and that's quite helpful there. Now these this page works exactly the same as the other one, so if I wanted to collapse that, I could do that there, and then I could collapse this, and then it's all cleared up. Now also, this volume profile looks kind of neat now because we have 3 months of volume, and so if I go September. There's only 3 items there, but we can see that there's the 6th. Let's include August, and we can see the volume there. Now, I'm going to make this larger, so you can customize any of these things that you like. I'm going to drag this. I clicked on the chart, and I'm going to make it a little bit taller or longer, whichever way you're looking at it. And let's include July. So I'm going to drag this over. And I just wanted to make it large enough that I could see all of the times. Otherwise, it starts skipping dates to make it all fit. So if you really wanted the 3 months, you would have to make it a little bit larger in order to see them all, so that they'll fit. But you wind up getting a profile of the print dates. And one thing that I noticed that was interesting is if I set this to all, I'm going to choose reset. And I'm going to reset, no, I'm not going to reset the date. But if we look at July, this is all the dark pool volume that we've recorded for the block prints. So we can see that July 17th was the highest day for dark pool activity. Right, so you can see the 2nd was the lowest, but the 2nd, and then the 3rd, not much on the 5th, the 6th, and you can see that the volume is actually growing, and the highest point was July 17th. So if we were interested in July 17th, let's go back to our print pivots, and I'm going to click on July, switch back to days, and let's click on the 17th. And I know, because I've looked at this, and oh, I've got my sectors. Okay, let me just unfilter my sectors. So when we look down here and see, we had 15 million on BBVA. The other one, I think it was the EUFN prints that really threw this up. Yeah, well, no, there was 6 million there. There was another one, unless I'm nuts. ING, there it was, 12.8 million. And there they are. It was ING. So I'm going to go back to the print pivots by date. Right, so you can see the dark pool activity there, and that might be helpful. So we see there on the 17th, that was our largest with 316 million shares traded over 984 trades. Okay, that sums it up for the overview here. The next thing that I wanted to cover was the auto update tab. So let's go over here, and we have a few options. One is you can update the secret signal print sheet, so when it's shared, like I mentioned at the beginning of the video, you can import that. And so you can keep this sheet and then always import your new secret signal print sheet every day if you like, because you might have this configured, a specific way and not want to have to lose all of your work that you're doing or what you're looking at. So I'll just run through this quickly. Let's update from SSP sheet. And that last one would be in my downloads. So here's the secret signal print for yesterday. And it's working. And it's a secret signal prints imported successfully. Okay. Oh, and I wanted to show you Vernon on this block prints now. They're all your color codes. So that's done when the sheet's imported as well. And when you share yours, it'll be done. So let's go back to the auto update. So Laura or Vernon shares their prints during the day, so you can update the sheet. You would download it from the Dropbox link. So let's do update block print shared in the pit. And this is asking for a file. So this one, I'm just going to open this one. Now it gives you a warning to make sure you're importing the right date sheet, for example. So this one says it was created on the 7th at 10:01 a.m. And that's fine for the purpose of this example. So for example, if you picked on the wrong one and it said September 1st or something like that, you don't want to import that data and possibly duplicate what you already have. So it needs to be new data, otherwise it's going to get compiled with duplicate prints, and you don't want that part. So I'm going to choose yes. And it says updated prints and tables shared by Laura, so it knows what it is, and when Vernon shares theirs. So you can do this as many times throughout the day as you like, and because it saves the original secret signal print block trades sheet when you do this. So if Laura shared it again or Vernon shared it later on, or if it was shared multiple times in a day, you can just always import this and it corrects itself, so you're not duplicating the prints at that point. I'm going to choose OK. Now if we had one from Vernon, it would do the same thing. Okay, I'm just going to reset this, update from the SSP sheet. Okay. That'll always get you back to square one anyway, updating the SSP sheet. Secret signal prints imported successfully. Okay, we're good there. Alright, if you have any questions, let me know. If you have any suggestions or room for improvement or anything like that, if it benefits the pit, then it's worthwhile to add it in. And let me know if people are using it or having difficulties. Alright, I'll stop the recording there.